Grace and peace, everybody. Grace and peace. I know a lot of y'all are looking at the title. You're looking at the thumbnail, and you guys are saying, "What is this fool talking about tonight?" Now, I'm noticing that my internet connection is a little laggy, and I'm here on the hotel Wi-Fi, so I apologize if I'm not coming in clear, if I'm lagging a little bit, and I'm looking to the side because I'm trying to see how much of a lag that I have. But as I look to the side on YouTube, I'm seeing that it looks like it's starting to clear up, so we might be good. Okay, now I'm seeing that the low Wi-Fi bars on StreamYard, they finally gone away. All right, grace and peace, Dunami. Grace and peace, brother Dunami. Yeah, tonight, y'all know I haven't. First of all, I want to say I apologize for anybody who's been looking for like my regular live streams for the past 2 weeks, my morning live streams plus my Sunday night streams. I haven't been on because just a few reasons. One of the reasons is that I got some other things that I'm working on, and they require a lot of my attention and time, and I don't want to make it seem like that me going live or putting out content is a burden. I don't want it to start feeling like a chore. I do want to continue to put out, good quality sound content, and I want to be able to do it with joy. I don't want to do it, as though I feel like I'm under compulsion to do so. So I've decided to take somewhat of a step back from YouTube and cranking out so much content that not many people are watching anyway, so it probably don't even matter. But but for those who are blessed by it, I have decided to take a step back. Grace and peace, brother Nate, brother Big Nate. But I've decided to take a step back just for a little while, because right now I feel like that I got some things. I'm just trying to get a lot of stuff in order right now. Nothing bad, I'm not going through a whole bunch of mental stuff. I don't got a whole bunch of financial problems or anything like that. What I'm doing is, Big Nate says those mornings are early for us West Coasters. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I go live 7 o'clock. Like right now, I'm in Central Time, so I go live 7:30 a.m. Central. So what is that, like 4 or 5, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. So yeah, I have taken a step back for a little bit. Like I said, it's not nothing bad, nothing serious. Just got some things that I'm working on. I'm just trying to organize some things, trying to get organized, trying to get my mind right. So in the midst of me trying to get my mind right, y'all know on my live streams, especially my Sunday night lives, I bring out a lot of TikToks. We discuss a lot of current events, things that are happening. And what I'm going to be playing tonight and what I'm going to be ranting about tonight is stuff that's been building up for the past couple of weeks. I just had it all bottled up, all built up, and I just right now it's spilling over right now. So I don't know how long I'm going to be on. I got so many tabs open up right now with a mixture of TikTok clips, YouTube clips. I don't even know if any of these things are really going to play right because I got so many tabs open. It might not even play. Some of them might not even play. But I want to talk about the state of the Black community right now because we got a problem. The Black man in America has a problem. And yes, I'm digging into that Black Power bag tonight. I'm for real. I'm not even doing this live on Facebook and Twitter right now. This is strictly YouTube because I'm probably gonna set this to members only after this because I don't want people to stumble. over what I'm going to be saying, you know. But as always, we are going to bring in the gospel. We're going to keep it strictly about God's word. I'm going to tie all of this in, but I know that people are going to come in later. They're going to hear me talking a certain way, and they're probably going to think I'm going way off into the weeds. Because it's going to seem like that. So yeah, I'm gonna have a tattoo showing tonight. I got the Black Power tattoo showing tonight. So the the Africa is showing tonight. But black people, we got a problem in America. We got a problem in America. And the problem is that we don't know how to separate politics from the word of God. We really don't. Politics has become the idol of the black man in America. American politics has become that idol of the black man in America. So much so, and I was just thinking about this earlier. Before Donald Trump got elected to office, I had certain friends, certain family members that I was cool with. Spoke to on a regular basis. They would call me, send me messages, talk to me. Hey, brother, how you doing? Et cetera, et cetera. So after Donald Trump got elected, and a lot of people saw that I voted for Donald Trump, I started getting a barrage of attacks. I followed a racist. I'm a Sambo, cool Uncle Tom, sellout. Got called all of the names in the book by former friends and family members. Former friends and family members called me that. But before Donald Trump got elected, before they knew that I voted for Donald Trump, I was this man of God. God had a calling on my life. Oh, God's going to do something great with me. All of that stuff. No matter what I told people about how I view politics and giving them a reason why I view politics or I view certain things the way that I do, they didn't want to hear that. They automatically put me into a different camp. A lot of things that I warn black people about, even on this channel, friends and family, warned them years ago. We need to take a step back. We really need to think about what's happening in our community. Number one, we need to get back to the gospel. We need to get back to God. We don't need to be fusing in politics with our theological beliefs. Warned people about that years ago. And I'm pretty sure I got plenty of videos to back that up. But people didn't want to listen. People did not want to listen. Born again Rome, grace and peace. He said, same here. Went through it since Obama and through the Trump administration too. Yeah, and I actually voted for Obama twice. I did. And it's because I thought that Barack Obama was a better candidate than Mitt Romney and John McCain, which I still do to this day. Wouldn't take those votes back. Wouldn't take them back because I am a free thinker when it comes to politics. I actually listen to what people say. I don't just vote Democrat or Republican down the ballot. I listen to exactly what people say and I move accordingly. Even when it comes to pastors and preachers, I listen to what they say. I listen to what's being said and what's being taught, and I move accordingly. Certain pastors and preachers I disagree with on some things. For instance, John MacArthur. Disagree with John MacArthur on eschatology. I don't ride with the dispensationalism. You know what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted. John MacArthur is my guy. I don't listen to a lot of John MacArthur. I listen to John MacArthur on the regular. Vodi Bakum. Don't agree with his view of eschatology, which is totally opposite of John MacArthur's. But don't get it twisted again. Heavy. I rise with Voti Bakum heavy. And that goes for some of y'all out there too who watch my stuff. Some of y'all, y'all say some stuff, it's crazy. But I'm like, nah, that's my guy. That's my sister right there. You know what I'm saying? Only I can talk bad about some of y'all out there. Nobody else can't talk bad about you, but I can do it. So I say all of that to say, I warned a lot of you black folks out there of what was coming down the pike. I told y'all you guys were going to be replaced because of your political, I don't know, your whole political affiliation. I mean, the way that you guys just latch on, especially to the Democratic Party. The black voter in America today who votes Democrat does more damage to the black community than anyone else. And I'm going to say this. The black Democratic voter has done more damage to the black community than the white supremacists. Oh, and I got receipts. I got plenty of receipts. So yeah, Democratic Party is like a religion to us blacks. It really is. It really is. And it has destroyed the black community. And it's destroying the black community so much so that politicians or politics is replacing black people in certain communities. The same people that y'all voted for, oh, guess what? They replacing y'all. And they've been explaining it for years. I'm going to bring up video after video after video. And I'm going to prove that today. And I remember a lot of y'all who called me coon, Sambo, Uncle Tom. Tonight, this is for you. This is for you. We going to get into this. We going to get into it. I don't want to go too much more on a rant. I want to start bringing these receipts out. Like I said, I got so many tabs open. I don't even know if half of this stuff is even going to play. So I want to start with this. Now, I'm going to tell y'all some of the stuff that I used to listen to during my Black Power days. Oh, John M. Oh, you better believe I got that clip. That was in 1995. Oh, that clip is coming. That clip's coming tonight, brother. Now, here we are with Brother Malcolm X. And I played this before on my channel for those who may not have known. I played this clip maybe a couple of times, especially around we're talking a lot of politics. Presidents are getting ready to be elected, and people are getting ready to go and vote. They're getting ready to cast their ballot for their party of religion, Democrat, Republican. People walk around with the donkey on one shirt, and some people walk around with the elephant. There's nothing wrong with voting. In fact, I actually encourage people to go out and vote. But I want people to vote responsibly. But this is for all you Democrats and some of you Republicans who just like, hey, this is who I'm voting for. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm against the Democratic Party, so I'm voting red. Or I'm against the Republican Party, and I'm voting blue no matter what. Y'all claim to be pro-black, right? Y'all love Brother Malcolm. Can't speak bad about Brother Malcolm. Let's see what Brother Malcolm had to say roughly 60 years ago about conservatives and white liberals. Fair use.
In this crooked game of power politics here in America,
I want y'all to listen.
the Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal. And white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor.
I want to remind y'all, this is 60 years ago. 60 years ago, from Brother Malcolm X. I want y'all to listen good. I want y'all to listen to this really good. I want y'all to hear what he's saying, especially our black Democrats. I want y'all to listen to this. All of y'all who love sharing those videos, those TikToks of those white people talking about, oh, we think that black people deserve reparations. We gonna fight for your rights. Black Lives Matter. I'm just a silly white man. I need to repent of my sin of whiteness. I want all of y'all to listen to this. I want all of y'all to listen to this. 60 years ago. 60 years ago. And y'all, I want y'all to tell me where the lie is.
And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leaders who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress. In the New York Tribune, in an editorial dated February the 5th, 1960, they pointed out that out of 11 million qualified Negro voters, only 2,700,000 actually take time to vote.
Listen good.
This means that, roughly speaking, only 3 million out of the 11 million Negroes who are qualified to vote take an active part. And the remaining 8 million remain voluntarily inactive. And yet it is this small minority, the 3 million Negro voters, who help determine who will be the next president. If who will be the next president can be influenced by 3 million Negro voters, it is easy to see why the presidential candidates of both political parties put on such a false show with the Civil Rights Bill and promises of integration. They must impress the 3 million voting Negroes
Fair use.
who are the actual integration seekers. And if so much fuss is made over these 3 million integration seekers, what would the presidential candidates have to do to appease the 8 million non-voting Negroes if they ever decided to become politically active? They hold the balance of power. Who are the 8 million non-voting Negroes? What do they want? And why don't they vote? The 3 million Negro voters are the so-called middle-class Negroes, or high-class Negroes, or uppity Negroes, who are referred to by the late Howard University sociology professor E. Franklin Frazier as the black bourgeoisie, who have been educated to think as patriotic individualists with no racial pride whatsoever, who believe in and look forward to the future integrated, intermarried society that is constantly being promised to them by the Negro politician.
Now I gotta stop right there, just like I always do when I get into the middle of this video. Now, with him going into integration and all of that stuff, if people know anything or know the history about Malcolm X, he was a huge supporter of segregation. Right? He believed that black people and white people should be separate. I don't agree with that, but I mean, if we're going to listen to a portion of what he says, we got to listen to all of it. But I just want to put that caveat out there because I don't want nobody thinking that I'm a segregationist. Right? So, got some people who think that blacks and whites should be segregated, but it's another topic for another discussion. And thank you for the super chat, Theological Handyman. Thank you. City on the Hill says, I don't agree with you on a few things, but you're on point with this one, Alton. Malcolm was definitely spitting it. Yeah, he was. And I mean, hey, truth is truth. Truth is truth. But we got plenty of more truth that's going to be coming out. I just wanted to start with this because this is relevant. This is going to be relevant to tonight's talk. Fair use.
And therefore, this integration-minded 3 million minority remain an active part of the white-controlled political parties. But it must never be overlooked that these 3 million Negro integration seekers are only a small minority of the 11 million qualified Negro voters. The 8 million non-voting Negroes are the majority, the downtrodden black masses. They have refused to vote. They've refused to take a part in politics because they reject the Uncle Tom approach of the clergy politician leadership that has been handpicked for the so-called Negroes by the white man himself. This clergy politician leadership does not speak for the Negro majority. They don't speak for the black masses. They speak for the black bourgeoisie, the brainwashed, white-minded, middle-class minority, who because they are ashamed of their race, because they are ashamed of being black and don't want to be identified with black, they are seeking to lose this black identity by mixing and mingling and intermarrying and integrating with the white society. The race problem cannot be solved by listening to the white-minded, brainwashed minority. The white man must try to learn what the black majority wants. The president would be wise to try and learn what the black masses want. And the only way to find this out is by listening to the man who speaks for the black masses. And I can declare to you tonight and to the entire world that the man here in America who speaks for the majority, the downtrodden, dissatisfied black masses, is this same man who so many thousands of our people are flocking toward to see and hear. This same Mr. Muhammad, who is labeled by you as a black supremacist and as a racist. And as
all right, we're going to end that right there. That's enough of that, Brother Malcolm. That's enough of that. We ain't going that far. Trust me, we ain't going that far. So y'all heard what Mr. Malcolm X had to say about the black liberal and the white liberal and the white conservative. He basically says that they're both sides of the same coin. But he says that the white liberal is more deceptive. That was his words. He says that the white liberal is more deceptive because they come as a friend to black people. How many of y'all believe that? Type 1 if you agree. Type 2 if you disagree. And you don't have to vote if you don't want to. If you want to remain anonymous, keep your thoughts to yourself. You have the freedom to do that as well. But let's listen to what some modern Black people have to say about liberals today. Fair use. Now, I'm going to see if this is going to play because I was having some. Actually, let me go ahead and close this tab out. I'm going to play this one, but I think the more tabs that I'm going to close are going to, it lets these TikToks will play with no interruption. All right, fair use.
Black liberals are hilarious. It's funny how Black liberals only think that conservatism deals with white people. I guess that explains why most African.
Yeah, see, I told y'all this. I think
countries are conservatives.
My bad.
I guess that explains why most liberal countries
are
European.
Let me try to back this up.
Black liberals are hilarious. It's funny how Black liberals only think that conservatism deals with white people. I guess that explains why most African countries are conservatives. I guess that explains why most liberal countries are European. Y'all done drained the white liberal Kool-Aid. Did any of y'all even listen to Malcolm X and what he said about the liberals? We would have kept our conservative values. We wouldn't have role models like Cardi B. Funny how y'all so indebted to y'all party that y'all will completely ignore what they're doing to the children. This racism is all be. Black liberals are hilarious. It's funny how Black liberals only think that conservatism deals with white people.
Hold on, let me see. There we go. All of us ain't dumb. All of us have been paying attention to some stuff. All of us have been paying attention to a lot of things that's been perpetuated. You know, people like me, I've been listening to what people have been saying on both sides. There's a reason why I voted for Donald Trump. And it's not because I want to be, bumping elbows with white folk. I want to be like a white person, because that's what I used to hear. You did that because you want to be white. Donald Trump is a racist. Donald Trump said that Black men are X, Y, and Z, and he ain't never had nothing good to say about the Black community. That man is a racist. Donald Trump doesn't ever pay homage to the accomplishments of Blacks in America. I want y'all to let me know, type of 1, if y'all ever think that Donald Trump has ever given credit to the Black contributions in America. Type of 2 if you disagree. And I'm going to give y'all a few seconds before I play this next clip. Let me know if y'all believe that Donald Trump actually gave credit where credit is due when it comes to the Black community. Y'all let me know that. Type of 1 in the chat if you agree. Type of 2. Let me see. Born Again Rome says, did you hear me and Dunamis chop it up at the end of Berean's live last night? We touched on a little of this. I don't think I caught that, because to be honest, man, I was I was watching that basketball game. I was watching the Miami Heat utterly destroy the Boston Celtics. Hold on, what? I should put my Heat hat on, but I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it right now. All right, well, let's listen to what Mr. Racist Donald Trump had to say. Now, for context, this was how long ago was this? This was 4 years ago. I want y'all to see this. This is 4 years ago. This is February 26, 2019. 2019. Donald Trump was still president in February of 2019. So I want y'all to pay very close attention to what this racist had to say about Black people. Because, I mean, let me just be quiet. Let's just listen. Let's just listen. Fair use.
Today, we are here to honor the extraordinary contributions of African Americans to every aspect of American life.
2019, while he was president. 2019, while he was still president. February 2019, while he was president. Let's back this up again. I want y'all to hear this good. Listen with your good ear.
Today, we are here to honor the extraordinary contributions of African Americans to every aspect of American life, history, and culture. From the earliest days of this nation, African American leaders, pioneers, and visionaries have uplifted and inspired our country in art, in science, literature, law, film, politics, business, and every arena of national life. The depth and glory of these contributions are beyond measure. You know it, I know it, and everybody knows it. Since the beginning of our republic, African Americans have given their heart, their love, and their very lives to the pursuit. And you know this better than anybody. You have worked so hard. I guess when you get right down to it, we're all working very hard. But the pursuit of liberty and justice for all. So we pledge in the honor of our great African American community to build a future where every American child can live in safety, dignity, liberty, and peace. As Americans, we all share the same dreams, the same hopes, and the same magnificent destiny. We are now and will forever be one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God.
That was from the racist former president, Donald Trump. Nope, they sure did not cover that, did they? They didn't cover that. You didn't see that on CNN. How come you didn't see that on CNN? How come you guys didn't see that on CNN? How come they didn't talk about that? How many of y'all black liberals knew that Donald Trump said that? You don't, because you listen to a lot of these other news stations who constantly push a narrative. And they push a narrative that you think is going to benefit you. But see, they have a hidden agenda to use you to get to their ultimate agenda. That's what they do. And black people have taken the bait, hook, line, and sinker. I mean, we ain't even biting the bait. We jumping into the boat. We jumping into the boat, into the bucket. That's what we doing. But y'all think that was he just only said that like one time? No. Let's see. Okay, when was this video? When was this video? This video was 3 years ago. This was October 2019. Okay. So the first clip that I played was in February. This is in October. Let's hear what this quote unquote racist has to say about black people in 2019 while he was still president. Fair use.
African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah, remember that's racist Donald Trump. I want y'all to remember all of the racism he just spewed in that video. How dare him talk about all of the contributions that black people made to this country? How dare that racist talk about that? Because he ain't never, I mean, you know. This is the same guy that when rapper Ice Cube went to him, first the rapper Ice Cube went to Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. He says, hey, listen, I want to know, what are you guys going to do for the black community if you guys want our vote? They told Ice Cube, they said, you get back to us after the election. If we win, we'll get back to you. Ice Cube went to Donald Trump. He says, Donald Trump, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do if you get elected? If we rally behind you and we're able to put you in office? Donald Trump was coming out with this thing called the Platinum Plan. If I'm not mistaken, I think that Donald Trump was looking to take about $500 million and allocate it to the black community and like certain programs and all types of stuff. He says, I promise you I'll do that if I'm reelected. Made a promise. That's what he said to Ice Cube. Ice Cube got eviscerated by the black community, black liberals. I remember he went on, what was that, Fox Soul with the ladies like Vivica Fox and like all of those old school. What's the other lady name? Lisa Ray. They had like this show on Fox Soul. I don't even know if they still have that, but it's like a panel of like 5 of these black women, single black bitter women who've been in Hollywood, they've been ran through in Hollywood, ain't got no man, mad at black men. All they do is get on this panel, talk bad about black men, brought Ice Cube on there, and basically just talk down to this man the whole time, asking, why would you go to Donald Trump and talk to Donald Trump about trying to better the black community? You need to stay away from him. He's a racist. He's the X, Y, and Z. Ice Cube said, I went to that man because when I went to the Democratic Party first and they brushed me off. So I decided to go to Donald Trump and see if he's willing to make a deal with the black community. Because he said, I'm not even into this political stuff. He says, I'm trying to do something for the black community. I'm trying to make sure that if we vote, that people are really going to be taking us seriously, or they're going to take our vote seriously. Let's not just throw our vote away. Let's just not prostitute it away. Give it to people for free. And it came against people like Ice Cube and some of these others who sat back and said, listen, I don't care who's in office. I want to know, where can we benefit from this? That's the type of mindset I'm on. I don't care about who's Democrat, who's Republican, or whatever. What are you going to do? Or how can I be able to use whatever policies that you guys write into law that is going to help me advance the community? Because the black community, I mean, it's known all over the world. The black community is the worst community in the world, in America, I might add. That's why people from other countries do not respect us. Because the way that black people are portrayed in other countries, and I've heard this from other foreigners, black people are not portrayed as positive people in other countries. Not the black American. The way that we're portrayed is that, all of our women are loose. All our black men want to do is get high, run through women, and, shoot and kill each other and sell drugs and destroy our own communities. That's what people think about us. But when you have people like myself who says, hold on, let's actually listen to what people say and really hold their feet to the fire. Black people, this was your chance to hold Donald Trump's feet to the fire, to say, you said that you're going to do this. You said that you're going to up that 500 million. We're going to put you back in office and we're going to hold you to that. Now, if it don't happen, now we can say, okay, this is who Donald Trump really is. But had to have Uncle Joe Biden and Sister Kamala Harris in there. Had to. Why? Because they told you to do it. White liberals told you to vote for them, and you did it. You voted because somebody else who don't look like you told you to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Oh, the racist Republicans. Well, you know that the Democrats were actually the party of the Ku Klux Klan and Jim Crow. No, there was a switch. Don't say that, Alton. There was a switch. Yeah, well, let's see how true that was. Was there a big switch? I don't know. Let's listen. Fair use.
Racists in the Democratic Party leadership switched and became Republicans. Let's make a list and we'll see who switched. We'll start with the leaders of the Ku Klux Klan. Now let's add in the leaders of various racist organizations, and Democratic congressmen, and Democratic senators from 1860 all the way to 2000. Let's throw in all the people who voted against the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So there they are. All 1,600 of them. Ready for the big switch?
Pay attention.
We'll go from Democratic blue to Republican red. So here it is. Yes, that's it. Less than 1%. The big switch is a big lie. The Democrats didn't switch from being the bad guys to the good guys. They simply found a new and bigger scam. Racists in the
And I want to talk, and I want to touch on what Born Again Rome said. He said Trump came through for the HBCUs. See, they don't remember that. But I remember who cut funding for the HBCUs right before he got out of office. Barack Obama did. Barack Obama cut the spending budget for HBCUs. Donald Trump turned around and put that $250 million back into the spending budget for HBCUs. Donald Trump did that. Donald Trump did that. Big Nate says, to be fair, both sides are trash. Oh, yeah, I said that at the beginning. So trust me, this ain't no Democrat versus Republican and all of that. No. We're talking about stuff that's relevant today. Now, yeah, the Republican Party, they got their problems, they got their issues. They got their problems and they got their issues. I clearly laid that out earlier, even when I played that clip with Malcolm X. He laid out the problems with both sides, but he said that the white liberal is the one, the Democratic Party is the one that's more dangerous and is more deceitful. So we got to call a spade a spade. But here's the thing. I can say that both sides are trash, but I'm not dumb enough to say that they're both equally trash or that they're both doing damage to the black community at an equal rate. It's actually Democrats that do more harm to the black community than Republicans. Why do you think all of your nice cities, all of your nice areas are ran by Republicans? Why do you think that all of your black people who get money run straight to the counties and the cities and the places where it's majority Republican ran? Majority of the politics are Republican. How do I know? Because I live in a predominantly Republican district. Moved there 6 years ago. Guess who you see moving out there a lot? Black folk. Black folk who, Joe Biden, Auntie Kamala, they moving out there in the county where I'm at. How come y'all not moving over there to Midtown Atlanta? How come y'all ain't moving over there in the SWATs, Decatur? Stone Mountain. How come y'all not moving over there? Move to Midtown Atlanta. Move to Lithonia. You see what I'm saying? But no, you got to run all the way out there to the west. Hypocrisy. Sheer hypocrisy. But since y'all don't really like listening to me, because y'all call me cool Uncle Tom. I got my black card revoked. Mega Jam says, remember the platinum plan? Yeah, we just talked about that. See, since y'all don't like listening to me, let's listen to this Pan-African. Maybe this Pan-African, Dr. Umar Johnson, maybe he can clear all of this up. Because I don't know why y'all listen to me. I don't know why y'all listening to me. Let me see. John M says, I'm off the Democrat Republican hamster wheel. Reparations or bust. Oh, we're going to talk about reparations. That's the reason why I'm doing this tonight. We're going to talk about them reparations. And I'm pulling out plenty of receipts on that. But anyway, let's see what the Pan-African, the Prince of Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson, has to say of how the Democrat plantation works. Fair use.
Democrats are very clever because what they do is they manipulate Republican racism against blacks to the benefit of the Democratic Party. So, for example, let's take the George Floyd police bill. Still hasn't been passed.
It hasn't. No.
When the Democrats had a majority in Congress, it still didn't get passed.
Nope.
When the Democrats were in charge, it still didn't get passed. You know why? They didn't want the George Floyd bill any more than the Republicans. But what they did was they do what? They wait until the Republicans have a majority, then they bring it up for a vote. Okay. So now when it doesn't pass, the Republicans kept the George Floyd bill.
So they're at fault. Yeah.
Exactly. But what about when you was in the majority?
Right.
Why didn't it come to the floor when you had a chance to pass it? Because you didn't want it either. So what the Democrats do is they stifle anything that benefits black people while they're in charge. And they wait till the Republicans come out and then they enter it when they know it's not going to pass. That's how they control us. We are literally under a two-party dictatorship. Black people suffer from the illusion of inclusion. Yeah. And that's what keeps us loyal to the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Get off of both of them. Democrats are very clever because what they do is they manipulate Republican racism against blacks to the benefit of the Democratic Party. So, for example, let's take the George Floyd police bill. Still hasn't been passed.
It hasn't. No.
When the Democrats had a majority in Congress, it still didn't get passed.
Nope.
When the Democrats were in charge, it still didn't get passed. You know why? They didn't want the George Floyd bill any more than the Republicans. But what they did was they do what? They wait until the Republicans have a majority, then they bring it up for a vote. Okay. So now when it doesn't pass, the Republicans kept the George Floyd bill.
So they're at fault. Yeah.
Exactly. But what about when you was in the majority?
Right.
Why didn't it come to the floor when you had a chance to pass it? Because you didn't want it either. So what the Democrats do is they stifle anything that benefits black people while they're in charge. And they wait till the Republicans come out and then they enter it when they know it's not going to pass. That's how they control us. We are literally under a two-party dictatorship. Black people suffer from the illusion of inclusion. Yeah. And that's what keeps us loyal to the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. Get off of both of them. Democrats are very clever because what they do is they manipulate Republican racism against blacks.
Where's the lie? That's what I want to know. Where's the lie? Oh, we talking Black Power tonight. See, these are the type of discussions that I was having back in the early 2000s. Yeah, me, Coon Alton. I definitely had those talking points. Yeah, and here's the thing. Born Again Rome says, every time I listen to him, all I can think about is a broken clock is right twice a day. Yep. Yeah, and I got to agree with Big Nate. Yep, two wings of the same bird. But guess what? You have to catch what he said. Check this out. When Joe Biden got elected, you had a Democratic president along with a Democratic vice president. The House was majority Democrat, and the Senate, all three branches, All three of those branches, the president, the House, and the Senate, all Democratic. All Democratic. So in order for a law or a bill to pass, you need all majority to pass a bill. The Democrats could pass any bill that they wanted right after Joe Biden got elected president. And I think that was for the first 2 years that he was in office. First 2 years while he was in office, the Democrats controlled the presidency, the House, and the Senate, all three branches. If they really wanted a bill to be passed about the George Floyd bill, reparations, they could have done it easy. They had the majority. They had the majority. Guess what passed in 8 months? Guess what passed in 8 months during Joe Biden's presidency? Let me jog y'all memory. Remember the anti-Asian hate bill? Remember how fast that got passed? Because you know why? The Asians are smart. You don't know where an Asian stands when it comes to politics. Not at all. You'll never really know where an Asian stands on politics unless you actually talk to them and you know them personally. But they don't really talk too much about that. And I'm pretty sure that they do differ on politics. But you know what happened? When they saw a lot of Asian people, elderly Asian people getting beat up by young black men, when they saw middle-aged women doing something simple like going to the laundromat. Oh yeah, I saw this on camera. There was an Asian lady, middle-aged Asian lady, in a laundromat minding her own business, and 2 or 3 black dudes went in there and jumped the lady and beat her up. Video after video after video of Asians getting beat up by black people. You know what they did? They said, let's put all of our differences aside and we're going to pass something that's going to protect our community so that if any one of us, whether we vote Democrat, Republican, Independent, whether we don't vote at all, we all going to be protected. Because when we walk outside, nobody's looking at us and saying that, oh, wait, hold on, that's a Democratic Asian. Don't jump him, but jump the Republican one, and vice versa. They says, nope, we're going to go straight to the government. Hey, we need y'all to do this. We need y'all to do something about this. And in 8 months, they had an anti-Asian hate crime bill law passed unanimously. Nobody came against it. How come we can't get that stuff done in the black community? How come we can't? Because you know why? We're too busy trying to find ways to divide against each other. We're not thinking about the betterment of the community. Oh, you're a Republican. You vote a Republican. That's all right. Strip your black card. Don't want nothing to do with you. Because like I said earlier at the beginning of this live stream, had plenty of family members. I won't say plenty. Had a few family members or friends who don't even talk to me to this day because of a political decision that I made back in 2016. 2016. Some of these people I ain't talked to in years. Got that bill signed. Asians got that bill signed in under a year. Because you know why? They understand that there's power in economics and there's power in unity. Asians spend plenty of money. And Asians, they're going to come together and make sure that their communities are intact. And you know what? Another thing that they do, they don't tolerate foolishness within the community. They don't look at these Chinese folks who's out there running amok, talking greasy. They don't promote them and put them at the top of the food chain. They don't put them people out there in society and say, oh, well, these are the people that we follow. You'll never hear about no Asian entertainer No Asian rapper. There's an Asian rapper called China Mac, and China Mac talk more with black people more than he do with Asian people. A lot of Asian people probably don't even know who he is. Guess who you gonna see put at the forefront of the Asian community? The guy from Alibaba. That's who you're gonna see put there right there in the front. Guys like him. You really ain't gonna see too. You really ain't gonna see too much of Jackie Chan out there. Jackie Chan gonna be behind him. The only time they talk about Jackie Chan is when he doing the movie or something. That's it. All of that political stuff, they like, nah, Jackie, you take a back seat. Let us, who are like working at these engineering jobs and who's sending our kids off to these prestigious colleges and all of that stuff to make a better life for them and their future generations. Those are the people that we want to represent us because they actually doing something for the community. People who are going to actually take that money and put it back into the community and help their other people back over there in China and help some of them come over here. They're more about community building. When it comes to Japanese people, they don't lift up the Yakuza. You don't really hear nothing about no Yakuza. And that's a part of, Japanese culture. I wouldn't say as a whole, but yeah, you got the Yakuza out there in Japan. But guess what? When you get ready to see brochures and you hear about Japanese culture, you don't see nothing about no Yakuza. Yeah, they exist, but you'll never see that. But what do you see in our community? WAP, Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, Little Uzi Vert, Jay-Z, Beyonce, chicks all on stage spreading their crotches open. Jay-Z said don't vote for Donald Trump. He said vote for Joe Biden. I'm going to go vote for Joe Biden because Jay-Z said it. Jay-Z, a billionaire. He one of the first black rappers who went from selling crack to making $1 billion off of hip-hop, which, by the way, talks about selling crack to our people and killing each other. That's what we do. That's what we do. And then we wonder why the black community is in the state that it's in. And you wonder why. And then you want to blame it on white supremacy. White folks don't have to do anything. White folks ain't got to do nothing. If y'all really think that white folks are worried about y'all, white people are not worried about black people destroying their own communities. I'm going to tell you that right now. How do I know that? Oh, well, because Coon Alton is around white people all the time. Remember that? Oh, I'm Coon. I'm Sambo. I'm Uncle Tom. I'm around white folk. So therefore, I know what white people are thinking. And trust me, y'all are the last thing that they thinking about. They ain't thinking about your neighborhoods. They ain't thinking about how many black folks are killing each other. You don't know that laws don't get passed until somebody from the black community goes into the white community and commits a crime? You can do all of the shooting, all of the killing that you want. You can sell all of the drugs and the crack. You think that the cops and the feds are that dumb to where they don't know who's moving that stuff? You think that they don't know who's pushing drugs? The cops are giving it to them. Man, I ain't even. Boy, look, I can't talk the way I want to talk on here. Y'all keep thinking that these folks don't know who pushing drugs. Remember Rick Ross? Free Ray Ricky? How he talks about how the military was supplying him with drugs? And you think that was just the 80s and the 90s. They're not doing that anymore. Drugs is a multi-billion-dollar business. Actually, trillion-dollar business if you think about the big pharmaceutical companies. Why do you think a lot of these guys get hundreds of pills to go and sell on the streets? Oxycontins and hydrocodone and Xanax and Molly and all of that stuff. Who do you think is supplying them with all of that stuff? These folks living in the hood, roaches and rats. And you mean to tell me that these folks got some big They got a huge operation to where they can manufacture thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of pills to go put out there on the street. Where do you think they're getting these ingredients from? Come on, man. You think that they getting that from the hood? Y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear that because you know what? That's going to make y'all talk. I mean, that's going to make y'all think. And we don't like thinking as a people. We don't like thinking as a people. But again, let's listen to this last clip of the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Let's see what he got to say about Donald Trump. Fair use. I think this is one of the clips that having a hard time playing. Let me see if I can refresh this. Like I said, some of these will play, some of these won't.
Because his style.
Think about this. Hey, what do you think about this?
Donald Trump got indicted because his style of leadership does not match the global agenda of the white power structure. Donald Trump is not a rainbow gang supporter.
That's true.
Donald Trump doesn't support the rainbow gang. Donald Trump is not a traditional politician. He's not used to playing games.
Nope, he's not.
Donald Trump is not a Joe Biden. He's not a Barack Obama, Bill Clinton. He don't know how to lie and manipulate, be humble. He don't know how to do that. He's straight business.
What say ye on that? What say ye on that? The Prince of Pan-Africanism. Prince of Pan-Africanism talking good tonight. Look at Brother Hero. He's like, all right, twice a day. You know what I'm saying? That was his second one, right? Man, shoot. Man. He said, just in case the car is watching, there is no Bible verses that suggests that cooning is a sin. See what Jay Thomas said. He says, so one soon on target promoting Alex Johnson. So one soon on target promoting pride flag clothing. John M says, can't stop the great reset agenda that is currently underway. Oh, yeah. And guess what they're doing? And guess who they're starting with? Guess who they're starting with? And I'm glad you said that because that is going to segue into this next clip. That's going to segue into this next clip. 1995. Now we're about to start getting into the meat of this conversation. Now we get into that meat. We done trimmed all of the fat. We down to the muscle. We down to the tenderloins of this. Let's see what Dr. Anderson had to say. Back in 1995. All right, fair use. Actually, let me go ahead and just refresh this right off the bat.
Class in a society. One of the alarming predictions you make in the book is along those lines. You mentioned that blacks will be pretty much a permanent underclass in America by the year 2015. Why the year 2015? 2015 because what I've concluded from analysis is that there are going to be a converging of social factors nationally and internationally that's going to place blacks in a permanent status of underclasship. And we anticipate by that point in time, based on all the research that's coming to us, that the next generation of whites are going to be more anti-black than they've been since the civil rights movement. 2, we anticipate.
I don't think y'all caught that. Let's back that up a little bit. This. Fair use. Let's hear that again. I don't think y'all quite heard that.
Of underclasship. And 1,
We anticipate by that point in time, based on all the research that's coming to us, that the next generation of whites are going to be more anti-black than they've been since the civil rights movement. 2, we anticipate by the same token about 86 million Hispanics coming into the United States and about 41 million Asians by that point in time, which is going to kick black folk out of being the minority in the society down to a minority. We've been number 2 in the society for 400 years as a group. We're going to become number 4. And if we have not gotten anything after being number 2 for 400 years, you guess what's going to happen when we become number 4. Because at that point in time, all the new groups coming into America, they're coming in higher than we are, because this country operates off of a preferential acceptance program, which means that groups are coming in based on skin color, going from the lightest down to the darkest, light, yellow, brown, black. And that's what our immigration laws are based on. And black folk would not be able to penetrate through those groups to get to the white society when that happens, because those groups owe us nothing. They don't understand our problems, and they are competitive with us, and we don't begin to be a little more aggressive about being in a competitive posture. They're going to eat our lunches.
One of the things that I should mention right here is the fact that the book is filled with tables, graphs, charts, and historical accounts of how such discrimination, prejudice, and racism, economically, politically, and socially, were engineered into our system, literally codified as a way blacks would be treated in this country. So that when we hear you talking about blacks becoming a permanent underclass, or we hear you talking about the inherent racism in the immigration system in the United States, you're not talking off the top of your head, are you?
No. See, the first immigration law was put in place immediately after the Revolutionary War in 1790, which declared this was to be a white country, and there was a 0 quota placed on black folk. That 0 quota stayed in place until about 1965. Based on the 1880 immigration laws, it moved up a slight bit, less than 1/2 of 1%, and to allow more blacks to come in. But in starting in 1965, it went up to 1/2 of 1%. That's why blacks are in a minority class in this country. That's why you cannot get Haitians into the country, because the larger society is extremely fearful of blacks getting a numerical dominance. And they built a quota system into the country.
And I can attest to that. I was born and raised in South Florida. Don't you know that there are somewhat different laws for Haitians and Cubans who migrated to the United States in the 80s and 90s? They had this thing called the wet foot, dry foot policy. And the policy was that if a person made it to America, if your foot touched soil in South Florida, then you could be you were considered a citizen. So, I don't know what this guy's talking about in the chat here. I'm trying to make sure that he's being respectful, because I don't want to just time people out, but I will put that block button out there. Anyway, wet foot, dry foot policy. If a person was caught out at sea floating over on a raft, the Coast Guard will basically bring that person to the United States briefly, process them, and then deport them back to their country. Okay, that's supposed to go for anybody, Cuban, Haitian, whoever. What was happening was that if a Cuban person made it on land, and if they're already on land, they would take that person, process them, and start giving them a path to citizenship. Now, with Haitian people, it was a little bit different. When Haitian people got to America, instead of them processing them and putting them on a path to citizenship, sometimes it was processing them and sending them to the Bahamas, or they were sending them to, some other parts of the Caribbean. They wouldn't let them stay in America. And I got Haitian friends who attested to this. And so I know what Dr. Claude Anderson is saying is true, is that they only let just a certain amount of black people into the country. Just a certain amount. I don't know what it is today. I mean, I still see a lot of immigrants coming to the country, except actually they're giving Hispanics more of a pass to citizenship than to, I guess you would say, Black Caribbeans or Black people from Africa. You know, if we're talking categories and stuff like that. So it almost seems like that there's like an agenda to kind of move Black people out of the way and create a new voter base. One of the things that I've said back in the day, or I've said periodically on my channel, is that because of abortion in the Black community and because of mass incarceration and a lot of the stuff that happens in our communities, Black people, from what I've heard statistically, numbers of Blacks rivaled that of whites in the early 1900s. Now, here we are 100 plus years later, and now our population have fallen to number 3, just like Dr. Claude Anderson predicted back in 2015. He predicted that back in 95, and he said that this will happen in 2015. John M. says, let's be fair, it was Ronald Reagan immigration amnesty policy that actually helped accelerate the immigration issue we see today. Yeah, it's a lot of factors that play into that. You even have to get back to, you have to go back to like the 50s when Fidel Castro and them was running amok down there in Cuba, and when you had a lot of the quote-unquote light-skinned Cubans that was trying to flee out of Cuba, and America actually just said, hey, whoever y'all, I mean, especially in the 80s, especially in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, America said, if you're trying to flee Cuba, we're going to go ahead, we're going to bring you to America, no questions asked. If you want to come to America, come on. If you can make it here, we're going to help y'all get over here. That's when Fidel Castro and them was taking over. So you know what Castro did? Castro opened up the prisons and sent all of the prisoners down to Miami. I don't know if you guys remember that movie Scarface, how they had that tent city up under the bridge in Miami. That was actually a real thing. There was hundreds of Cubans up under there, and they was in there running amok. Miami turned into a war zone for a little while until they ended up cleaning that up. Mr. Kinder, I don't know what you come here to do. I don't know. Are you responding to somebody? But please do not spam the chat. And I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I really don't know what this guy is talking about. But yeah, I'm gonna ask you to be respectful. He says only the father gets the flack, and only wants to explain to the mother. I don't know. I don't know what Mr. Kinder is talking about. He says he's just drunk. Yeah, but I'm gonna need you to sober up pretty quickly if you want to be a part of this conversation. So if you want to be a part of this conversation, I need you to sober up. I'm not asking you to be quiet, but I'm just be respectful. Listen to actually what's being said. I know some of these things and some of these facts you probably haven't heard before, so you know, you might be thinking that we're speaking racism and all of this stuff here, but you got to really listen to what you kind of came in the middle of this. All right. So listen to what's being said before you actually make a statement. All right. Let's continue to listen to Dr. Claude Anderson.
Even in our immigration process and into our to make sure that Black folk do not constitute a threat.
And of course, I should say, if we look at the historical record, it becomes clear that Blacks certainly didn't work to engineer their own demise in America. It was pretty much a construct based on second class, third class status that we had in society as the labor class, the free labor class, basically. You address that quite extensively in this book.
Yeah, we were always, we've operated off the base of a three-tiered structure. We had the elite class, or the aristocratic class, then we had the management class, which was made up of poor whites, and we had the working class, which was Black folks. See, Black folk were the working class, contrary to the popular myth up until about the Civil Rights Movement. blacks were the working class. Now, after the civil rights movement and blacks became obsolete, now poor whites and some of the other whites are claiming that they are the working class in this country. But they were not. They were supposed to be the management class up until that point in time. Blacks were the labor class in the system.
Actually, I gotta try to find that clip. I gotta try to find that whole interview, because that's pretty interesting. That is pretty interesting. Y'all know who this man is right here. This is Judge Joe Brown. Judge Joe Brown. Let's see what Judge Joe Brown got to say about y'all president, because remember, we're talking about black people as we're moving into this context of black people being replaced in this country and black people becoming obsolete as the obsolete voter in this country. So we got to talk about who's the real racist. Because remember, people said that Donald Trump was the racist. But we can see that Donald Trump, he gave credit twice. As we can see from those two clips that I shared. I mean, he's did it a few other times too, but for the sake of this live stream, I showed two clips while Donald Trump was in office where he paid homage to Black Americans and the contributions in this country. Although he was called a racist. But let's see what Judge Joe Brown has to say about his early encounters with now President of the United States, Joe Biden. Fair use.
I did not vote for that damn fool that they had running against him, that racist dog, what I heard the first time in 1972 when I was doing an intern thing at a DC think tank, when he was out there with James O. Eastland, John B. Stennis, Faubus came in from Arkansas. That's the fool who said they'd never integrate the Little Rock High School.
It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing.
They had Wallace there, who was wheeled in, and they had Byrd, former Grand Dragon of the Klan, and they were talking about this young man who had a stupid-looking ducktail like he was back in the 1950s, was the last true yellow dog Dixiecrat. And they were talking about Joe Biden, who got up there, and when the speech he gave, I mean, I was really offended. I heard it right outside the state capitol building in Dover, which was a rundown, ransacked old house, 250 years old. And he said, Negro children are like roaches. If they're allowed to integrate the schools, they will infest them and they will never be gotten out. Negro.
Who said that? Joe Biden said that?
Yeah, I heard it. Saw it. He said Negroes were animals and they turned the streets into jungles. And he and Senator Eastland had a plan where they could put all of these Negro animals in zoos. Now, we talk about the 94 crime bill. That wasn't shit. The 91 was bad. The
91.
This is a circus. It's a national disgrace. It is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves. And it is a message.
Who that man? Who's that black man talking? Y'all let me know who that black man is talking. And you know what, Kinder? I had that clip queued up too. I had that clip queued up and I took it off because I had so many tabs open that it wouldn't play. So I said, I'm going to sacrifice that clip. But yeah, there was a clip that I had where Joe Biden actually said that. Dang. But anyway, that black man who was talking, is Supreme Court Justice, now Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who was the first African American Supreme Court Justice. Remember, and I wish I would have had that queued up too. I wish I would have had that queued up. Don't you know a lot of those left-wing Democrats started making all types of racial remarks against Clarence Thomas because of his stance on abortion, which, by the way, disproportionately reduces the number greatly in the black community. And a man who said that we should not be allowing people to just go and get abortion on demand. You would think that black people would say, you know what? If we're always worried about black people being killed by cops and white men trying to kill us, don't you think that maybe increasing our numbers would be logical? Because remember, we're falling number three in this country when it comes to population, behind Hispanics. We fall into number 3. And Hispanics, majority of them do not believe in abortion. And part of it is because a lot of them have been raised Catholic. And Catholics do not hold, they don't even entertain the thought of abortion at all. Catholics basically teach that you should be able to have as many children as you can. Amen, hallelujah. That's the way that's where I stand. I ride with that. Have as many children as you can. I know plenty of people with 8, 9 kids easy, taking care of all of them. One household income, seeing it with my own eyes. Kind of made me wish I had more. But remember, we had to get that racist Donald Trump out of office. And we had to put in this guy. This is the guy that we needed in office, black people. Let's listen to some more of this.
That unless you kowtow to an old order, you will be lynched, destroyed, caricatured by a committee of the U.S. Senate rather than hung from a tree.
Was really bad. The 81 was the one where one rock got you 5 years, which due to some other stuff Biden and Stennis and Eastland did.
Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them,
clip right here,
born out of wedlock, without parents.
This is one of the clips I was talking about right here. But but hold on.
Without supervision, unless we do something.
We got to bring this
about
back.
Rather than hung.
We got to bring that back because I want y'all to hear that in context. Let me shut my mouth and let y'all listen to what y'all president, Uncle Joe Biden, y'all love this man. This is the man y'all had to have in office. You had to have him in office. Let's hear what he had to say. Fair use.
Hung from a tree.
Was really bad. The 81 was the one where one rock got you 5 years, which due to some other stuff Biden and Stennis and Eastland did.
Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock,
black people,
without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I yield myself 3 more minutes, because they literally have not been socialized.
It wasn't 5 years with parole. They abolished federal parole. So you get 5 years, you get 60 months, and you get released with all good and honor time at 56 months from federal custody. And then that was the 81 when then there was a 79 and the 77. So let's give blame where blame is due. That bastard has been a racist dog. And he used to talk about he understood the Negro because he was raised in Delaware. And he said Delaware was a proud slave-owning state that basically copped out by not going with the South during the rebellion as it should have, because they were too close to D.C. to not be intimidated. So I listened to this racist dog. I kept up with him because I was practicing criminal law, and federal criminal trials became almost a lynch thing because of what is allowed.
That's the man y'all had to have in office. That is the man they had to have in office. Now you see why I say that the black community is endangered. That's why I say that the black community is in danger, because they ran to the polls for this guy. They ran to the polls. Had to have him in office. Had to have Joe Biden in office. I want y'all. Let me know who this lady is right here. Let me know who this lady is right here. This is Vice President, his running mate, Kamala Harris, during a Democratic debate before he got elected. Now remember, they were all fighting for the presidency. They was all fighting for the primary. Remember, Kamala Harris was running for president. Let's see what Kamala Harris has to say about Joe Biden when she basically hemmed him up during the debate. See, and this is the thing. This is why I say that black people have a lot of cognitive dissonance. Because any black person that would have watched the Democratic debate, the party that they claim that they love so much, and that they just vote for straight down the ballot, how did you guys miss this? How did you guys miss this? Fair use.
So on the issue of race, I couldn't agree more that this is an issue that is still not being talked about truthfully and honestly. There is not a black man I know, be he a relative, a friend, or a coworker, who has not been the subject of some form of profiling or discrimination. Growing up, my sister and I had to deal with the neighbor who told us her parents couldn't play with us because we were black. And I will say also that in this campaign, we've also heard, and I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden, I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. So I will tell you that on this subject, it cannot be an intellectual debate among Democrats. We have to take it seriously. We have to act swiftly. As Attorney General of California, I was very proud to put in place a requirement that all my special agents would wear body cameras and keep those cameras on.
Senator Harris, thank you. Vice President Biden, you have been invoked. We are going to give you a chance to respond. Vice President Biden.
It's a mischaracterization of my position across the board. I did not praise racists.
Now, remember, this is Mr. Joe Biden and his now vice president. She insinuated, although she started out and said that, oh, well, you know, I'm not saying that you're a racist, but she insinuated that the man was against busing. and that he definitely wanted to keep black children and white children separated. That's what Kamala Harris was insinuating with now President Joe Biden. But these are the people that y'all had to have. You had to have these people in office, despite seeing this. I don't know. Actually, we're gonna skip that clip. We're not even gonna play the rest of that. But again, we're nearing the end of this particular live stream. We're gonna talk about reparations, y'all. We're gonna talk about reparations. And this is what I wanted to talk about tonight. Let me see. Hold on.
This morning,
Blow that up. Back that up. What do y'all think about reparations? What do y'all think about reparations? Because this is a hot topic. Now, remember, California says that they were going to pay black people reparations. Remember that reparations bill that they have been talking about? Let's hear what California has to say, because remember, a lot of these people ran on reparations. Actually, let me see. I don't even have that clip. Yeah, I do. I do have that clip. It's the next one. All right. Fair use. Let's hear this.
This morning, California's Reparations Task Force, the first of its kind in the nation, has voted to send recommendations for reparations to state lawmakers, saying it hopes to right the wrongs of slavery, as well as land, housing, and health discrimination.
My great-grandfather was a sharecropper who had 17 children and worked from sunup to sundown and died with absolutely nothing.
The task force is recommending payments of up to $1.2 million for any African American over 70 that can trace their ancestry to enslaved people, compensating them for what it describes as harm to their health, mass incarceration, over-policing, and housing discrimination.
Land was stolen from many, as in my husband's case. My husband has the deeds to these properties. That's state. This land belongs to my descendants forever and ever.
Several descendants.
Wait, is that a white lady?
In a public forum, task force members.
I saw that earlier. I want to see. Is that looks like a white lady? I wish I can blow that up, because that definitely looks like a white lady who was just speaking. I don't know. Maybe she's just like really light.
State. This land was stolen from many, as in my husband's case. My husband has the deeds to these properties. That's state. This land belongs to my descendants forever and ever.
Several descendants told their stories in a public forum. Task force member Jovan Scott Lewis insists reparations are not payouts.
We are returning monies taken, returning monies stolen.
Fair use.
Returning, right, the monies that have been lost based upon the kinds of dispossession and disenfranchisement.
But the task force's work faces two major hurdles. First, no mention of how to pay for the estimated $800 billion price tag, which is more than twice California's.
What I've been telling y'all when we're talking about this reparations stuff, what have I been telling y'all? I've been telling you that these folks, the same issues that they're laying out now, they're saying how we're going to pay for this. When I asked these questions, when I raised these questions, and I said, how is the United States government going to pay for reparations? People they had all of these things to say about me. Why are you even questioning it? You just don't want to see black people get their money and this and that. See Mega Jam in the chat. I'm going to wait for that to pop up. He says, would you take reparations if it was passed somehow, or would you reject the portion of your base your portion based on principles or personal convictions. Listen, if y'all want to pay that money, pay it. Give me the check. Cut the check. I want it all. Every single dime. I want every drop. If y'all gonna give me the money, give it to me. But I know, and I'm smart enough to know that that money just doesn't fall out of the sky. And you can't win my vote by promising me something that I know as a thinking black man that you're not going to be able to do. I know how, well, I have an idea, a good idea of how economics work in this particular country. Born Again Rome says you can't charge me tax, then pay me with tax money. Simple as that. How are you going to charge me tax as a black man, but then turn around? Where do you think that money is going to come from? Where do you think the money is coming from? Taxpayer dollars. I mean, that's why I told people, I'm like, this whole reparations thing is pie in the sky. People just doing that so they can win your vote. There's no real plan for that. Because I'm going to tell y'all my honest opinion when it comes to reparations. My honest opinion on reparations, if you're going to do it, you should be able to trace your mother and father back to slavery. You should be able to trace your ancestors back to slavery on both sides, your mom and your dad. Now remember, there's a lot of Caribbean people that's in this country. There's white people who are descendants of black people in this country. As a matter of fact, even when I look at Tariq Nasheed, I watch his stuff sometime, and guess what he talks about? He says that, hey, you got more black people or other people from different countries fighting for reparations more than black people, and they messing it up for all of us. They done threw their hat into the mix saying that, yeah, we need reparations too. It's like, how do you get reparations when you're like a second generation African or Caribbean person? How do you qualify for that? So that's putting a divide right there. But like I said, if y'all gonna pay that money, pay it. But I'm not finna fight for it. Because even without because like I said, man, I ain't the smartest man in the world, but unless y'all gonna snatch that money from some other country and give it to us to where it's not gonna affect the average tax paying American, me, that money is gonna come at a cost. So what are you willing to sell? You willing to sell your soul to try to gain some pie in the sky reparations? You're not gonna get it. California is showing you that. They're showing you that. Let's continue to listen. They ain't done yet. Let me back this up just a little bit for context. Here we go.
The task force's work faces two major hurdles. First, no mention of how to pay for the estimated $800 billion price tag, which is more than twice California's annual budget. And the recommendations are non-binding, meaning state lawmakers still have to approve the idea. An uphill battle. The task force will issue a final report to state lawmakers this summer. An interim report also called for a public apology from the state to African-American descendants of slaves and others who were discriminated against.
And others. You hear that, right? An apology, not just to African-American people, but to others who have suffered discrimination. Come on, man. You can't make this up. All you got to do is listen to what these people saying. It's always black people plus other people. If y'all want something, you got to look to somebody else. You got to link up with somebody else to get something that you want. Because you as a black person, you're not going to get it right off the bat. Just listen to what these folks are saying. And these are the people that say that they're fighting for reparations, but they want to issue an apology. Not just the black people, not just you black folks, But we got to include everybody else too. We got to include everybody else who's come to this country and they suffer any type of discrimination. That's what they finna give y'all, an apology. Oh, we're going to write this apology and we're going to maybe hold some press conference and we're going to talk about it. And the governor, Gavin Newsom, is going to get out there and talk about how bad slavery was and how, black people really contributed to this country and how they should have been compensated. But we're not going to compensate y'all. And if you guys keep pushing, we'll just tell you guys to include yourselves with, maybe you guys need to go link up with another group of people. So therefore, maybe you guys can get something together. How about that? I told y'all reparations is not happening. It's not.
And disenfranchised. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
That's the end of that one. Now, again, like I told y'all, a lot of these Democrats who run around here talking about they vote straight down the ballot. Oh, I'm a Democrat. I vote Democrat down the ballot.
Do support compensation.
Let's listen to the debate. Again, this is another portion of the debate that happened. What was that? Back in 2019, 2018? When these people, again, for context, all of these people, pay attention. All these people that's on this panel are a part of Joe Biden's administration. These are people that are a part of Joe Biden's administration, including Joe Biden himself. This is what they said during the debate. Fair use.
Do support compensation for those families. Should the U.S. also compensate descendants of enslaved people? Do you support reparations for African Americans?
I support H.R. 40, which is the bill that has been proposed in Congress to establish a commission to look at reparations. But we shouldn't wait for that commission to do its work to do things that are reparative. Remember, we're not talking about a gift to anybody. We're talking about mending what was broken.
Y'all know who that is, right? Y'all know who that is. This is Pete Buttigieg, the guy who is, I think he's like the Secretary of Transportation or something. He's a part of the Biden administration. A part of the Biden administration. This is what he was saying when he was running for president. Okay. I'm going somewhere with this, but let's go.
We're talking about the generational theft of the wealth of generations of African Americans. And just crossing out a racist policy and replacing it with a neutral one is not enough to deliver equality. Harms compound, just like a dollar saved in its value compounds over time. So does the value of a dollar stolen. And that is why the United States must act immediately with investments in minority-owned
Hey, yo,
businesses.
this is so cringe right now. Oh, this is so cringe. I mean, just the pandering, man. Just the pandering.
With investments in health equity, with investments in HBCUs, and on the longer term, look at reparations so that we can mend what has been broken.
Vice President Biden, do you support reparations?
Look, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance.
Listen good. Listen good.
Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of every 100 children in our school today.
Listen to what he's saying. This is who y'all voted for. And y'all talking about y'all want reparations? The man basically said, look, we got immigrants that we done let into this country. They come, they work hard. They ain't asking for a penny. And I'm going to translate that for y'all. What he's saying is that y'all black folks think that we going to give y'all something. Well, we got other people that's coming in from different countries willing to do the work that y'all don't want to do. Listen to what the man is saying. This is who y'all voted for, and this is who y'all think is going to give y'all reparations. cognitive dissonance in the black community for real.
Today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America, and we should.
Stupid and immoral. Stupid and immoral. And he said that Hispanics are the future of America. Now remember, he's being asked about reparations. They asked him about reparations. And you see how inflamed he got? Oh, man. Why are y'all even talking about reparations? Why are people even talking about reparations? I told y'all, man, I was bringing these receipts out tonight. He ain't done yet. Let's continue to listen.
Invest in them. Everybody will benefit from it. Every single American. And you should get used to it. This is a nation of immigrants. That's who we are. That's why we're who we are. That's what makes us different. And we should invest in it.
Y'all heard it with y'all own mouth. With y'all own ears. It came out of his mouth. He basically saying that, no, listen, y'all ain't getting reparations. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear anything about no reparations. And I think Kamala Harris, I think I pulled up the wrong clip because I had another clip where Kamala Harris was basically saying that, oh yeah, I believe that black people need to have reparations and that needs to be given back to black people. She's the vice president now. Where's this reparations talk coming from them? Yeah, I told you, people talk mess about me because I sit back and I say, you're not getting reparations. People made videos about me. Deacon Sakari knew. Alton said that he don't want black people to get reparations. And I said, I told y'all not going to get it. Them people pandered to y'all just to be put in office. Where the woke church at? Where all of these woke Christians at? Where y'all at? Y'all went to the polls and put these people in office. Told people to go and vote Democrat down the ballot. And look at y'all with y'all hands out begging. The Democrats, please give us the reparations that we owed. Joe Biden said that y'all stupid and immoral to think that we gonna give y'all reparations. He says, y'all better start looking to them Hispanics. Start looking to them Hispanics because we ain't giving y'all jack. We finna invest in them. That's what he said. That's basically what he's saying. He said, we're gonna invest in Hispanics because they're the future of this country. And he mean that. And I got a couple more clips to prove that. Fair use.
Welcome back. The Reparations Task Force voted over the weekend on their final recommendation for the state. The task force was created 2 years ago to analyze and determine the best way to repay African Americans.
And our political reporter Morgan Reiner joins us now with the details.
Luke and Devin.
And this is recent. This is a recent video, y'all. Pay attention. Pay attention. This is a recent video.
And the Reparations Task Force did make their final decision, but it doesn't have any legal weight. They're going to hand over the recommendations to the legislature July 1st, and then lawmakers will determine if and how they want to turn it into law.
More than 100 people gathered in Oakland on Saturday to express frustrations over the impact slavery has had on African Americans.
We often talk about reparations and people say that we're getting a handout, but we've given this country, let alone the whole world, a handout for the last 200 years. No,
you better save your tears, buddy. Save
U.S.
your tears.
Representative Barbara Lee, who was running for Senate, weighed in during public comment.
Reparations are not a luxury for our people, but a human right long overdue for millions of Americans. Millions of Americans. A promise of 40 acres and a mule made to formerly enslaved people over 150 years ago has yet to be filled.
In this 34-page document the Reparations Task Force approved, it outlines how much Black Californians who are descendants of slaves could be compensated. $13,600 each year for health harms, $148,000 for housing discrimination, $115,000 for over-policing. Depending on how long the recipient has lived in the state, that means a person could get up to $1.2 million.
The state of California will offer a formal apology on behalf of the people of California for the perpetration of gross human rights violations and crimes against humanity on African slaves and their descendants.
The task force also approved a formal apology they believe the state should provide, like the state has for other marginalized groups.
So who officially qualifies has been a big topic throughout these last 2 years of meetings. It's lineage-based descendants of slaves or freed slaves. In its model, the task force estimates that there's less than 2 million people who could qualify, but that is still potentially billions of.
Less than 2 million people that qualify. They say less than 2 million people that will actually qualify for those reparations in California. You want to know why it's less than 2 million people? Because you have to be over 70 years old to get the money. What's the life expectancy rate of Black people? I don't mean to laugh, but come on, man. Like, do y'all not see this? When are us as Black people going to wake up? When are we going to wake up? Y'all keep putting y'all hand out. Y'all expect this government that y'all keep saying that is oppressive to Black people, hates Black people, don't want to see Black people with anything, but you're still looking at them to give you something. All they're saying, and I'm telling you, just read between the lines. The California Reparations Task Force is saying that we're just going to give you an apology and you guys just better just accept it because we ain't giving y'all no $800 billion. They say that we don't even have enough, that we don't even have $800 billion coming into the state. You think that we're going to give y'all $800 billion when we don't even got it coming into the state? Black folks running around here, yeah, you know, we need to get reparations and that's going to be like $100 trillion. We need to have all of that. Get out of here. That's why I'm just like, you're not getting reparations, people. Hang that up.
Dollars.
All right, our Morgan Reiner reporting. I know you'll stay on this. There's much more to come. Appreciate it.
Now, here's the thing. Black people love waiting until the last minute to ask for something. We love that. Donald Trump said, yo, I got a plan for y'all right now if y'all vote for me. And what do y'all do? Nope, we're going to go with Joe Biden because he's a Democrat. And Joe Biden said that if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. So in order to be made Black, we got to vote for Joe Biden. I played this before. This was a panel that he was having with Black people. This is maybe a week after he got elected. I'm going to see when is this. This is December 8th, 2020. Because remember, he had just got elected in, what is that, mid-November? So yeah, this is maybe like 2 weeks after he got elected. This is December 8th, 2020. So to kind of put this in context, these panel of Black people, including your boy Reverend Al Sharpton over here, Big Rev, these panel of Black people asked Joe Biden, they said, hey, Joe Biden, now that you're in office, what are you going to do to basically, what are you going to do for the Black community? Now that you're in office and we showed up in droves, what are you going to do for the Black community? Now, he gave some long, drawn-out 45-minute diatribe, but I want to go ahead and clip this one piece. Because remember what Joe Biden said in that clip during the debate. He says Hispanics are the future. And shout out to the Hispanics. Shout out to the Hispanics. I'm not mad at them. If somebody want to give you something and they say, hey, we're going to give you this for free and they give it to you, I can't be mad at you for taking it. I'm not mad at Hispanics for keeping their communities intact and handling business. Not mad at all. I'm just mad at black people for claiming that they want to build back the black community, and then get mad when everybody else take them same when they take their opportunities and utilize it and actually make something out of it. So anyway, now one thing I will say about Joe Biden, to be fair, Joe Biden was consistent. He said that he wasn't going to give y'all reparations, and he told black people that y'all need to start looking towards the Hispanic community because they're the future of America. So again, when black people ask him, what is he going to do for black America? What he's going to do for the black community? This was part of what he had to say.
Make significant progress on racial equity. This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European. You hear me? Minority white European. And you guys are going to have to start working more with Hispanics, who make up a larger portion of the population than y'all do in terms of raw numbers.
Y'all heard what he said. He says, if y'all want to start seeing change in this country, y'all going to have to start working with Hispanics. Y'all going to have to start working with Hispanics. Remember all of that reparations talk during the debate? Ain't bring it up not one time. Remember, during this time in 2008, December 8, 2020, he was the president, Democrat president and vice president. Democratic Senate, Democratic House. Democrat had power over all three branches, and they did nothing for black people. Nothing. And you heard what he said just now. Told that to a panel of black people. Uncle Joe Biden told black people, if y'all want to make anything, if y'all want to do anything in this country, y'all better start working with the Hispanics. Can't make this stuff up. Can't make this stuff up. Because you know why? Because they're looking to replace you. Black people in America, Democrat, Republican, especially the Democrats, those living in the inner city, you're being replaced. And they've been doing this the whole while. Y'all voted for this. As we play this next clip, I want y'all to remember, y'all voted for this. These are the people that you put in office. Y'all put these people in office. When people like me tried to warn you back in the day, and I said, don't vote for these people because this is what they're trying to do. This is what they're trying to do. They're going to replace you. Watch for the Fugazi. But you had to have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in office. You had to have Democrats in office. This is Chicago. Now, y'all know the south side of Chicago is riddled with crime. Donald Trump said that if he was elected again, they asked him about the crime in Chicago. He says, listen, if I'm elected president, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to talk to the mayor and I'm going to say, you need to get this right or we're going to come in here and we're going to fix this problem. Kids getting shot. People getting caught with stray bullets. I think a little girl was sleeping in her crib and stray bullet went through the wall and killed her. Grandma scared to go to work because of the crime, because the crime is so bad. Donald Trump said, y'all give me 4 more years, I'm going to go and I'm going to clean Chicago up. 6 months, I'll go and I'll clean that place up. Black people didn't want that. We wanted Lori Lightfoot because she's a lesbian black woman married to a white woman. That's what they wanted. A lesbian black woman married to a white woman who had no interest in the black community at all. had no interest in cleaning up Chicago. But ironically, this is why I said this is where the chickens are coming home to roost. This is where the chickens are coming home to roost. All of those clips that I played earlier, it led up to this right here. The chickens are coming home to roost right now because they allowed all of these things to happen in Chicago and a lot of black communities across the United States. They've allowed these things to happen. Why? Because if you tear the black neighborhood up enough, then they can move in and they'll have to come in and clean it up. And when they come in and clean it up, they'll just simply replace you. They'll simply replace you. They'll take somebody from another country who has less than what you have. They're going to put them in that community. And they're going to let those people build that community up. And they're going to provide them with the resources and the money and the schools. They're going to do all of that. They're going to help them rebuild that community that you tore up. And that's what these Democrats are doing right now. And Chicago is being an example of that. That's why I've been telling y'all to pay attention. But you didn't want to listen to the coon. Didn't want to listen. But let's see what's happening in Chicago right now as we speak.
Cheryl, tonight the city of Chicago has not said if there are plans to open what they call a respite center in the former shuttered South Shore High School have been finalized. But people who live in that neighborhood made it very clear how they feel.
For city leaders who came looking for a conversation over opening the doors of a shuttered South Shore High School to migrants.
What's important is that we really establish that this is a humanitarian crisis, and we're here.
South Shore residents responded with resounding rejection.
While this crisis may constitute an emergency for the city of Chicago, it does not constitute an emergency for the South Shore community.
Incoming migrants have overwhelmed district police stations by the hundreds.
It's my turn. It's my turn. Hello.
But city leaders could barely eke out a word of the details about a proposed respite center at the former South Shore High School.
When it comes to the total number of people at South Shore at any given point in time, it is fluid. We'd start with 250, 500.
How could you do that without consulting us? I am concerned with safety in the area.
The Chicago Police Department will put...
Oh, wait, hold on. You concerned with what? I know she didn't just say that. She's concerned with safety. Because remember, Donald Trump was called a racist when he said that when you take people from across the border, you don't know who these people are and where they're coming from, and you just put them into the communities. You don't know if those people are ex-criminals or not. So we got to protect our borders for the safety of the country. Now, black people, when y'all was calling him a racist, black people, when y'all said building a wall was racist, black people, when Donald Trump said that when people from south of the border come to this country, that Mexico isn't quote unquote sending their best, black people, that was racist. Now y'all want to try to get in front of these people in Chicago, and now you want to try to spew those same sentiments. So are you now the racist? Are you not a racist? But see, the problem is that now it's affecting you. And I told y'all, these democratic policies was going to affect you as a black person. This is just the beginning. A lot of y'all who living out in the suburbs and, well, I got a good paying job and I don't think I got to worry about any of that because I'm not in the hood. I don't live on the south side of Chicago. Oh, trust me, it's going to affect you too. Give it a few more years. Go and elect Joe Biden and these radical Democrats back into office. Do it. I dare you to do it. Another 4 years, y'all gonna be on here standing in front of city councils, screaming and hollering. I dare you. And you have no voice in America. Your voice is done. They're already replacing y'all. Y'all took all of that time. Y'all wasted all of that time. Hands up, don't shoot Michael Brown, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd. Y'all wasted all that time. And I told y'all was wasting time with all of that garbage. And these folks been sneaking in through the back door looking for a way to replace y'all. When people have been talking about the crime in Chicago, saying that, man, y'all, instead of y'all out here marching for George Floyd and all of that stuff, y'all need to go down there and march in Chicago to stop the violence and get a handle on that. But you didn't want to do it. Now these folks are bringing in your replacements. They're bringing in your replacements right now, and you watching this unfold. You think that they're gonna stop? You think they're gonna take these people and move them somewhere else? It's too late. They already here, and they in Chicago. And what y'all gonna do about it? Complain. That's all you gonna do is complain. And these folks, they've been listening to y'all complain for decades. That don't bother them no more. Standing up there with a microphone in your hand and foaming at the mouth and yelling, that does nothing for these people. Put it on social media and TikTok, that's nothing. They don't care. And those women who are sitting on that panel, those were Hispanic women. You think if she finna drive away her Hispanic brothers and sisters because some black folks didn't want to clean up their city in Chicago? You got to be kidding. You got to be kidding. These are them chickens coming home to roost.
24/7. 24/7 officers at that location.
Those are exactly the kind of services Southside residents say they've begged for and been denied.
Every homeless immigrant that you bring in, that you scoop up one of the homeless individuals in our community, I think that would be fair.
Tonight, we also learned that a field house in
Who had been saying that? I've said that on plenty of occasions. I've been saying that on plenty of occasions. That all of those services that they're giving to a lot of these migrants, and this is the same sentiment that even Donald Trump said. Donald Trump said, we need to be America first. Remember, being America first, that was racist. He talked about the homelessness and the poverty. He said, listen, why don't we take all of that money that we're spending on illegal immigrants, let's take that money and let's pour that back into the communities, even in the black community. He said, let's do that. Didn't want to do it. Y'all didn't want to do it. Get the racists out of office. Get racist Donald Trump out of office and put these folks in. And this is the thanks that y'all get. This is the thanks that y'all get. And I'm not going to sit back and say that I'm happy that this is happening. My heart goes out to those people. My heart goes out to those people because you can see that there's a lot of elderly people there. You don't see none of them young folks. Ain't no young folks down there. You see a lot of elderly people. And you know what's going to happen? When they start to build those areas up, guess who's going to be the first ones to go? Those elderly people. Because they're going to start raising the tax on those properties. And the taxes are going to get too expensive for these people to stay there, and they're going to have to move out. They're going to be forced to move out because they're on a fixed income. It might not happen this year or next year, but it's going to happen. But you see, when y'all always looking to divide black people, whenever a black person is trying to tell y'all to say, hey, listen, look, think, don't just go out off your emotions. Use your brain. Look and see what's happening around you. Cool, Uncle Tom, we're going to take your black card. That's what we get. That's what we get. I've been saw this coming. I've been seeing it coming. They're not giving you your reparations, and they don't brought your replacement saying, and Joe Biden said it during the debate. I just played the clip. Joe Biden said it's stupid and immoral to talk about reparations. And he says, when we can bring in immigrants that's going to come here, they're going to work hard and they're going to contribute to the country. And you black folks don't want to contribute to the country and you got your hand out. You don't even want to take care of your own communities. But they're going to fix y'all. They're going to fix y'all. They're going to go in there. They're going to bring them immigrants in and they're going to move y'all out. And guess what? These immigrants ain't running to the abortion mill. They're not telling them to go and get abortions, but they're telling black people to go and do it. You got white liberals out there fighting for abortion clinics to stay up in the black community. Put you in jail if you act like that you're going to block somebody from going into an abortion clinic through the FACE Act. Fight to keep those abortion clinics open in the black community because they want y'all to reduce y'all numbers while they bring in other people and not force them to go have abortions or get sterilized. Been trying to sterilize black people. And these are the people that y'all keep voting for. Unbelievable. Put the drugs in your neighborhood, put the alcohol in your neighborhood, and you go and you vote for these people who constantly want to destroy your neighborhood. And then they turn around and now they're getting ready to turn around and bring in y'all replacements. That's all right. Y'all keep voting for that stuff. Let me see. I got a couple more clips, then we up out of here. Hold on, let me back this up.
Americans, you are politically progressive.
Hold on.
Or liberal, and that's stupid.
Hold up.
When you care about the lives of African Americans, you are politically progressive and or liberal, and that's stupid. Stop right there. Stop. Did you hear it? Listen.
I did hear it. That was Lecrae falling into a trap that unfortunately a lot of black people fall into. And that is this idea that comes mostly from the political left that there is only one way to be pro-black. Now, if he said he's not really a political person, then he probably doesn't know this. He probably just thinks, well, I am talking about black issues and all of these Christians, especially these white Christians, are coming after me. Why is that? But if you look at what he was talking about, then you get the picture right away. You see, he was upset about what happened with Mike Brown, and you can look into that yourself if you want. But suffice it to say, the Mike Brown case is where the whole hands up, don't shoot thing came from. And anyone who followed the case even a little closely knows that at this point, we are aware that that entire narrative was a lie. So take that one case in particular. You have one side saying that we have to support this and we have to spin this particular way, even if it's not true, because that's how you be pro-black. And you have another side saying these are lies. These are lies the media is using to manipulate you because they're trying to use you. Don't let them use you. That is also pro-black. But if you're one of those people who argues that progressivism is not objectively good for black people and not objectively pro-black, you are labeled anti-black, even if you are black. And because progressivism and Christianity are like oil and water, if you side with Christians and then go progressive, yes, Christians are going to feel betrayed by you because progressives freaking hate us. And I don't blame Lecrae for this. I don't think he really knew any of this. But I want you to listen to one more clip from this video.
In America, especially in white America, especially in Christian America, the lines between white supremacy and Christianity are so blurred that we don't even know where they start and they stop.
What's crazy is that statement isn't necessarily untrue. I've already talked before about how this idea of white supremacy started off as Protestant supremacy. There was a time when you were black or you were Christian. White didn't really start getting thrown around until black people started becoming Christians. Or I should say Protestant, because The whole story with Catholicism is completely different. But the problem is nowadays, it's not Christians who are blurring those lines, it's activists and politicians. Because back then, white supremacy was very clear, it was in law. Nowadays, you're quote unquote perpetuating white supremacy if, again, you don't subscribe to liberal politics. And this is not an accident. The political left has had the black community in a chokehold for decades now. But again, the narrative has to be pushed that there's only one way to be pro black, and that is to align yourself with the political left. That way, they don't actually have to do anything for us because you have to vote a certain way because you're black. It doesn't matter what their policies are, it doesn't matter what they say, you have to vote for them. And on the other side of the aisle, well, they're not going to vote for us anyway, so why bother? So they just ignore us. So you have one side that exploits us and one side that ignores us. And where does Christianity come into it? Well, Christianity is just a scapegoat. Because again, Christianity is an enemy of progressivism. So they have to paint Christianity as being synonymous with white supremacy in order to get Christianity out of the way of the agenda. And we're just continuously falling for the okie doke.
Yep. Yep, we constantly are. We constantly are, and it's so sad. And the biggest reason why I wanted to do this video tonight or this live stream is not because I want to try to give you guys, make you guys become more conservative, or to say, hey, stop voting Democrat, start voting Republican. That's not what I wanted to do. That wasn't my agenda. I wanted to be able to remind people to keep your eyes on God and His Word. All of these things that we're seeing happen in the black community, all of the lies that I've exposed by a lot of these people from the Democratic Party, a lot of these things you heard from their own mouths, things that they've said. And a lot of people are just soaking up these lies, hook, line, and sinker, saying that, that's not what the that's not what the Democrats are saying, and that's not what Joe Biden said. And now we're seeing that a lot of these things are starting to take effect. And these people are doubling down because we've gotten so far off into making politics our idol that now, it's just a mess in the black community. The black community is in shambles right now because we've acquiesced and we've mixed in politics with our faith. That's why it really just burns me up when I see people like Raphael Warnock and some of these other black liberal progressive quote unquote pastors out here bringing in politics into the pulpit. It's just sad. And I can't stress this enough. When black people had the Word of God at the center of their household, the black community flourished. It did. There's no doubt about it. Check the stats, check the numbers. But again, God is sovereign. His will is going to be done. That's why I make my content geared towards you guys who faithfully watch, like JD Hill, Mega Jam, Tammy, PJ Williams, Born Again Rome. Just a lot of you guys, who watch the quite few of you guys who actually watch my stuff from beginning to end. I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. And the reason why I bring a lot of this stuff out is because I don't want any of you guys to walk around here and be misinformed or confused. And you guys are smart. So a lot of you guys are smarter than me. I ain't even gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't trying to say that I'm your savior or I'm the one that's bringing you the absolute knowledge and the truth. No, but I think that if anything, what I want to accomplish is that I want you guys to know that y'all ain't the only crazy ones out there. I don't want y'all feeling like that y'all by yourself. Hey man, nobody, I don't think anybody thinks the way that I do or see things the way that I do. Because I mean, it's to a point now to where you may feel isolated out there. But guess what? There's somebody out there whose name is Alton Johnson. And he's just as crazy. Might be a little more crazy than you. You know what I'm saying? Might be just a tad bit more crazy than y'all. And who's willing to have honest conversation in a world that's fallen. And I also make this content because I want to continue to encourage you guys that, hey, listen, we see this happening and we know the devices of the enemy. All this is just the work of Satan. All of it. And my prayer is that although these things are happening, I pray that people get saved in the process. Yes, even those migrants that come over here and they may not speak the language, and people who may just be looking for somewhere to just escape oppression. Because I mean, it's bad in some of these other countries. Pretty bad. And the hood looks like, I mean, the hood looks like heaven to some of these folks because they're in war-torn countries where you got gunmen that's waking these people up in the middle of the night and moving them out of their homes. And these people got to take whatever's on their backs. They ain't even got time to pack. They just got to just get out of their homes and just start migrating somewhere, hoping that they can find food and shelter. So that's why some of these people, they just like, hey, listen, if y'all willing to just give us this stuff, I mean, hey, this is better than what we got. And I think that's a lot of times in America, we miss that, especially as Black people. I think we missed the mark on being content with what the Lord has blessed us with. It's another reason why our communities are in shambles, because we've forgotten God. All of the stuff that the Lord has brought us through, slavery, Jim Crow, racism, discrimination, police brutality, mass incarceration, drugs, violence. Forgotten God. We've forgotten God. Thank you, J.D. Hill. He says, ungrateful. Yes, we've been ungrateful to God. But guess what? The Israelites, just like the ancient Israelites, they were ungrateful to God. And even when people of Israel thought, hey, this can't get any worse, or even when people like Elijah, the prophet Elijah, or Elisha, I'm sorry, where he thought he was the last righteous man in Babylon, God said, not so. I still have 7,000 who have not bowed the knee to Baal. And remember, that is who we are, I believe, right now in this country. Although we can look at it, we can say, man, it's just so much wickedness and just crazy stuff happening out there. Sometimes you may feel isolated. Guess what? There's a whole bunch of us that the Lord has not allowed us to bow the knee to Satan and his devices. We're still standing firm, and we're going to be here. With his grace and his mercy and his strength through the Holy Spirit, we are going to be here. Nobody is going to make us waver and wane. Nobody can destroy us unless God allows it. And even if we die to the glory of God and to his will. That's the only reason why we die, if somebody does take our life. God has a hedge of protection upon us. He's going to have his will being carried out in his sovereignty. Period. Well, listen, guys, I got to get ready to get up out of here. Man, what is it? Wow, it's 11:15. Well, it's actually 10:15 where I'm at, because I'm in Kansas City right now. And I'm an hour behind I'm in Central Time. I'm not on the East Coast, so I know it's kind of late for y'all on the East Coast. But listen, man, I just wanted to come out, maybe give my little rant. Might keep this video up for a little bit. Might turn around and put it to members only. And the only people that'll be able to see it is people like Tammy, because she got the. It don't matter with Tammy. Tammy got the badge by her name, so she can see this video whether I put it to members only or not. Tammy gonna see this. But if you guys have not done so, man, go ahead and hit that like button at the. I'm sorry, right below this video. Like this video, rate it, share it, subscribe, hit that notifications bell, so whenever I go live or whenever I get ready to upload a video, you guys will be the first ones to see it. And like I said earlier at the beginning of this particular live stream, I don't know how much more content I'm gonna drop. I don't know. This might be a live that I might not be doing I might not do another live for a while. I don't know. The Lord may lead me to do another one tomorrow. I just don't know at this point, but I have taken a step back from YouTube and uploading content, and I explained all of that at the beginning. I'm not going to go back into that. But anyway, guys, listen, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Enjoy the rest of y'all night. I will see y'all later. JD Hill says, "What's my email address?" I think it's right here down on his banner. Let me see if I put my email address. Yep, there's my email address right there at the bottom of this banner. So you can go ahead and hit me up there. All right, let me get ready to get up out of here because I got to get ready for tomorrow so I can be ready for work. So, all right, see y'all guys later. Enjoy the rest of your night.